I'll let Fong start first. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very, very excited. Very excited to be a part of this group. And I would like to welcome everybody here and joining us to our Unlock Your Next Level series with Coachable. And this is a brainchild of our amazing founder, which is Linda Duong. And I'm also joined here by Christopher and Daniel. But before we get started, we're going to go right into everything and have Linda welcome us all in on this amazing series and what's coming up next and all that great stuff. So take it away, Linda.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Fong, for being the co-host. You've been so amazing with us, through Three Hearts community and now, and same as Chris, we all know each other for many years by now. I consider you both like, my closest associates globally. How amazing. Hi, everyone. I'm Linda Duong, Three Hearts founder and Coachable's founder. And if you ever wondering, what about Link Coaching? Link Coaching was my first business and its evolution. So Fong is the amazing real estate entrepreneur, investor, podcaster, and all the way from Canada. And Chris Salem is the trusted advisor all the way from New York. So we are all global here. And Daniel, my amazing Three Hats ambassador for many years now, um, is from Sweden. So we are truly a global community. And for friends who don't know us yet, we are just entrepreneurs who are going through the trenches, and we just show up because we understand how important it is to show up. We really just show up to keep each other accountable, to uplift each other, to just simply share with each other our space, our journey, and share what works, just so that we can lean on into each other, because I know how lonely it is for an entrepreneur. The journey is very lonely. And that's why I started Three Hearts as a connection hub and now extended to Coachable, which is a platform for all the coaches and experts to share their expertise. And so there we go. Welcome you all. And we don't have anything to sell today, but we will share with you how you can work with us or join our community so that you can join this forum. And if you're a speaker, Chris Salem has some secret sauce on how to get paid speaking, but most importantly, you can join us. You can join us and speak as well. So the community is for us all to share. It's a welcoming place for us all. So here we go. Chris Salem, I would love to invite you on the stage and speak first.
Sure. Thank you so much, Linda and Fung and Daniel. Great to be here with all of you. It's been a while, and so I'm so glad to be here with all of you. Yeah, and Coachable is doing such great things because it's a platform that offers a wide variety of different services that could apply to wherever you are in business. And that's the thing about being a business owner. We're all going to be at different stages in our business. Some are starting out, some that have been around for a few years, some of us have been around for a while. But nonetheless, it's always about continuous improvement, both on a personal and professional level. Now, with that being said, there has been, any successful business owner that is open-minded, transparent will say that I didn't do it alone. I had help, and not only from the people that worked for me or joint alliance partners, but actual coaches, people that guided me, that saw my blind spots. And that's what I love about Coachable, because there's a wide variety of different areas that it would apply to where a business owner or an entrepreneur is, where their blind spots would be. So it's like you got your choice. That's what's wonderful. So what I wanted to share today for all of you to give you some value is an area that oftentimes is overlooked by business owners. And this, when I say businesses, I'm not talking just a solopreneur, a small business, a mom and pop, let alone even a small company. I'm talking about even companies that you would probably recognize. There is a thing that we all assume and speculate what our audience is and what they're looking for. So ask yourself this. You may be saying to yourself or convinced yourself up to this point, I know my audience. Even the people that work for me, we know our audience. and we know what they're looking for. Now, I'm not here to say that you don't, but what I'm here to share with you is you may not be aligned with exactly what they're looking for like you think it is. Here's why. Has your organization or you as a solopreneur ever done an audience segmentation analysis or a market analysis in any way? Now, some of you may have, but many of you probably haven't. You just went out and maybe just, hey, I know this industry. I know I could come out with a good product. I know I can leverage this. But the question is it yielding the returns that you're looking for? Is it reflected in your KPIs, in your revenue growth, in your net profit margin? Here's the thing, folks. We can grow our revenue, but if our net profit margin isn't growing in conjunction with that revenue, sometimes it can decrease because our expenses go up. Our expenses are going up just as much as our revenue's going up. That's lowering our net profit margin. And when that happens, that's lowering the valuation of your business. Now, what does it cost to acquire a new client? What is the cost to retain an existing client? Now, if we're not measuring these things, then we don't really truly know who our audience is like we think we do. We're just throwing mud at a wall. Now, I'm just being direct here. I'm not doing that because I'm trying to, make you feel like, oh, uncomfortable. No, I'm doing this because we've all done it. And I'm here to share with you, you don't have to do that anymore. You can tap into people that understand this. I had to learn the hard way myself, but I've been doing it for a number of years. Now, with that being said, here's the thing why, if your revenue is not where you desire it to be, your net profit margin isn't where you desire it to be, you're not generating enough sales. Here's the thing. It's not just because your lead gen and your SEO is not performing right. Here's the thing. There's a lot of great services out there where your lead gen resource and your SEO resource probably does a great job. It's just that you don't have the right message. So I'll say that again. You don't have the right message, possibly. That's because we just assumed what we thought our audience was looking for. We got to go out and survey our audience. Go out and either talk to a random sample of people to hear it from the horse's mouth. We could be using resources to get some information on a macro level. We have AI technology that can canvas the internet in seconds to extract this information, tons of information. But if we truly don't know who our audience is and what the real challenge that they have overall that could be better, what are the results they seek and don't have, guess what? Then your SEO lead gen is going to miss the mark because it's not aligning to that, it's subconsciously in their head. Sometimes they don't even know what their challenge is, them personally, but something will trigger that. But if you can now really get this data back from an audience segmentation analysis, and just because you've been in business a long time doesn't mean you can do this. I'll give you an example. I had a moving company that had a regional audience. They were based in Colorado, and they've been in business since 1994. And they told me they were targeting people between the ages of 25 and 35. They said that a lot of people that were either moving into their first residence, maybe getting married into their first home, or now moving out of their starter home into the next level of house that they were going to live in. That was their audience. Now, I asked them, I looked at their website, I looked at their social media profiles, and I said, when was the last time you updated this message or this slogan or anything that you have here? Well, we haven't. It's been the same since we started. You've had the same message since 1994. He said, yeah. And I said, well, I guess I'm your audience. He says, no, you're older than that. And I said, yeah, I'm 57 going on 58, but I go, I'm your audience. He goes, no, our audience is 25 to 35. I said, yeah, back in 1994, I was your audience. I'm a Gen X. You're catering to Gen Z people. The message is not going to align with the Gen Z like Gen X. That's where you're missing the mark. This is why your SEO is not performing to the level you would like it. This is why your SEO is not performing to the level you like it. It's not because of the sources itself. It's because you assumed that everybody who's 25 to 35 thinks alike and is going to process information the same way. And you're not alone. Even major brands do this by mistake. We got to really understand our audience and then come up with messages. And I call it a value proposition. A value proposition message isn't about what you do, how you can help them, and what makes you stand apart from everybody else. There's a time and place for that. It's first a question, even right down to the personality type, multi-generational type, cultural and ethnic background, whoever makes up the bulk of your audience. So I'll give you an example. My audience, just like a lot of you out there that are listening to this right now, majority of you maybe on the DISC profile, if you're a business owner, maybe are a D. And a D is for dominant. You're task oriented, you desire results, but you don't want as much details. Get to the point and show me how I'm going to get the results. Help me understand how I can make my challenge better to get the results I don't have now. Now, if you were an engineer or a project manager, you might want your task oriented too and you want results, but you may require more details. And I have to substantiate those details to you in order to prove A works, B works, so that you would buy into getting those results. So how I communicate the message to one group, that if that were the bulk, to the other, is completely different. So if you looked at my website at sustainablesuccess.net, you would see that the first thing they see is, what if your business metrics unfolded a narrative of continuous growth? Question mark. See, task-oriented Ds, less details, more results, like what questions? Whether if they know that consciously or not, they like what questions? If I were targeting the engineer or project manager, I would open up with the how question. How references details. Both are task-oriented. So what if your business metrics unfolded a narrative of continuous growth? Question mark. See, that subconsciously, neurologistically interrupts their challenge that could be better. Yeah. I'm not saying is your business revenue struggling or are you struggling? No business owner wants to hear that, even if it's true. But if you spin it in a positive way, it subconsciously, neurologically connects with you. Then I say a narrative of compounding revenue and profit, net profit, fostered through stronger team leadership dynamics and creating a valuable customer experience. So I'm telling them exactly what they have to do to get those results. So I interrupt their thinking with the question, what? Then I say a narrative, I engage them with the results. Now they're intrigued. Now they're saying, that's what I got to do. I got to build a psychologically safe work environment, bring my team together, communicate at a high level, and then create a valuable customer experience. Okay, how do I do that? So now they can go down to the next step of the conversion equation and say, discover in this free video how to make your challenge better to get these results. I give it to them. But before they can watch that video, my offer is not book a call with me. It's put your name and email to download the video. So that tells me, are you serious about wanting to change your business? I'm not trying to sell you anything. They put their name and email. Now I know who's went in there and watched the video. That goes into my CRM. Then I can follow up 2 days later and say, I hope the video was helpful to steer you in the right direction. If there's any specific information you'd like to share with us that we could steer you further to more information that could help you, feel free to schedule a call and we'll go over it and we'll steer you in the right direction. For every 10 people that do that, 2 or 3 will end up going the extra mile and become a client as a result of it. It's a numbers game at that point. That's called the conversion equation. It's the interrupt statement, the engage statement, the education statement, and then the offer. Now they're going to want to know what I do, how I could help them, and what sets me apart in order to help them get those results. So I got to understand my audience first. If they were people centric and not task oriented, then I'd have to identify with on a who question because they want to know who it impacts first. If it's somebody that doesn't make a decision, but they're great support people, customer service people, procurement people, they don't like to make decisions. They just like to gather information and allow their leader to make that decision. But they identify with why questions. Why are we going to do this? So I can know that my leader will tell me now who it impacts so we can make a decision. See, when we can understand that better, this is where good coaching comes involved and good consulting. You can now craft your message on your website, upper fold, because people are going to read it on a mobile device. It's going to be reflected in your personal LinkedIn profile, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Not the same message verbatim, but similar like that. In your slogan, on your marketing collateral, when you're email marketing, when you're on a podcast, when you're speaking on a conference or an event. That cohesion with that message will reduce the number of touch points on the buyer's journey from an average of 20 to 100 to now 5 to 12. Most solopreneurs and small businesses never even get to the third touch. They give up. Oh, nobody responded. Nobody cares. I'm done. When it takes 20 to 100 on average. What if you could do it on 5 to 12? Would that increase more sales? Would that now lead to more revenue? But see, revenue's great, but if your expenses are going up, that's not going to make your net profit go up. So, but if you can now understand the value proposition as the foundation, the most strategic first step to revenue and profit acceleration, you can take your business from where you are right now to a whole new level that you've never imagined. But the thing is, you don't have to do it alone. This is what's great about Coachable, because there are consultants and coaches that understand certain little areas of business that might be blind to you, that you could be getting that help. And I wanted to share this information with everybody here, to at least to give you some insight and some value that you can now go off of that can help steer you in the right direction and start to utilize resources like Coachable that can help you, because you will see the return on your investment. Don't see it as an expense or I have to pay something. See it as an investment in your business, your people that are going to now multiply greatly what you can do in your business. Thank you for the opportunity to share, and I'd be more than happy to address any questions that you may have. And I'm going to give the floor back to Linda and Fong to take it from here.
Linda, you're on mute.
Okay. I was just saying, thank you so much, Chris. That is so many nuggets, golden nuggets. And I would invite you to seriously just create one specific this offer, now that everyone heard it, right? How you can help everyone with the ICP, with the MVP, all of those that you spoke about, right? And put on Coachable so that everybody can access your help. And for everyone who has had trouble to sign in, to come in to our Zoom, I apologize. I don't know what happened. Everybody knows I'm not the most tech IT person, but we are looking forward to share this recording with you, and we hope that you follow us through to the end with the Q&A. I find the Q&A is always the most valuable part as well, besides the teaching. So first of all, I welcome you virtually, distantly, but I also apologize that you couldn't join us live. But I would love for you to stay in touch with us, get into Coachable, email us if you have more questions afterwards. Now I would like to hand the stage over to Fong.
Well, thank you very much, Linda, and thank you very much, Chris. That was absolutely amazing. You had a lot of great nuggets of wisdom there, and I was taking notes the entire time. So, thank you very much for sharing that. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's saying that. Like, I'm sure a lot of people out there who's watching right now will go, "Oh wait, I didn't think about that. Oh wait, that's why I'm not getting engaged. Oh yeah, I have to put it in the upper fold and then the lower fold, and all these things that you mentioned that they probably just realized." That's why they're not getting that engagement. That's why they're not speaking to their audience, or why they're not converting better. And that's the whole beauty of having somebody like yourself being there, consulting, coaching, and the whole beauty of Coachable as a whole, because there's so many different levels of business owners out there, so many different levels of entrepreneurs out there who can really benefit from the different services and different expertise of different coaches that and experts that we have on this platform. And for myself, I'm like when we talk about how do you get unstuck, how do you move forward fast, the key is absolutely coaching. Can you imagine that if for those of us or for those of you who are struggling to connect with the audience and convert those sales, and all of a sudden you just heard what Chris said, and that is the key for you to convert sales faster, would that not have allowed you to save time? Would that not have saved you on all that frustration and the confusion as to why you're not converting the way that you should be converting? Well, that's how you get unstuck. It's having that person from outside of your business, outside of your company, looking in and go, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're missing. And that person who could actually read the instructions outside of the box that you're kind of stuck in. There's that saying that everybody says, okay, you have to think outside of the box. You have to think outside of the box. Well, the problem is all the tips, tricks, and directions are written on the outside of the box. You can't see that. And it's that coach, it's that third person that's standing outside, go, hey, this is what you should be doing. Now let's lift that box over your head and then show you how to do it, kind of thing, right? So from my personal experience, I would not be where I am today if it was not for coaching. I would be probably still stuck in my job thinking, oh, I wish I could have real estate. Oh, I wish I could be speaking. Oh, I wish I could do this and all that. And as an engineer by trade, I'm going to be very, very honest and say I'm probably very good at analysis versus paralysis. I could study something for so long and find out all the risks, all the what ifs, all the problems, and then eventually not move forward with it. And that is where coaching really changed everything. I remember saying, okay, I really want to do real estate. I walked into my first seminar, webinar, and all that kind of stuff. I studied courses, I studied books, and I could do numbers, no problem. I could say, okay, this deal is gonna be great. That property is gonna make lots of money. It's gonna cash flow and all that kind of stuff. But it's the stuff that's outside of the analysis, outside of the numbers that I was missing. And thank goodness I had a coach that I was able to bounce things off of. Because if it wasn't for my coach, I wouldn't be able to put in my first offer. I wouldn't be strategically be able to think about how to save time. So one of the best things that my coach told me about investing in real estate is how do you put out effective offers and how do you save time? Well, for myself and a lot of people out there who wants to invest in real estate or whose business is in real estate, they'll start off going, okay, I'm going to go look at this property, talk to my realtor, and schedule an appointment, go look at it, and then put out an offer. You do this for multiple times, and then hopefully one of them will get accepted and all that kind of stuff. Well, now you're using a whole bunch of time scheduling appointments, going to look at houses, taking time to put out offers, hoping it gets accepted, all that kind of stuff. Well, what if you get your realtor to send you listings and all kind of stuff that may or may not even be on the MLS or be listed yet, so that you eliminate competition, okay? Stuff that's not on the market yet. Put out offers, potentially not even looking at them, so that you can save that time, get the offer accepted, and then go and look at the property and renegotiate if you need to. You save so much more time by doing that. And while everybody else is running around doing all these other things, you could be focusing your time on something more strategic and saving you more time. And then also being able to really focus on stuff that really allows you to grow. That's what coaching is all about. Coaching is able to give you the direction because these people have been there, have done that. Chris has obviously helped lots of businesses grow, has obviously helped lots of businesses scale and make lots of money and become very, very successful. So wouldn't you, if you were struggling to make a certain number or get a certain level, wouldn't you be able to benefit from that kind of consulting that Chris just gave you right here? I'm sure you can. It will save you so much more time, so much more money, and so much more frustrations, bar none. So that's why coaching is so important. And that's one of the ways that you could definitely get yourself unstuck. Coaching helps you get unstuck. Not only that, hold you accountable. I can't remember how many times I've been stuck in a room and go, oh wow, my coach is going to ask me this, or expect a phone call coming in on a weekly basis going, hey, did you do this? You said you'll do that. Did you do this? Eventually you go, okay, I don't want him to challenge me anymore. I'm gonna have to do this task that he asked me to do. He's gonna hold you accountable. They're gonna hold you accountable. But not only that, they're gonna start challenging you because now that they see that you are accountable and you're taking the action that they challenge you with, they're gonna give you another challenge, another challenge, another challenge. And eventually you'll start to see yourself grow, expand, and achieve more and more success. And that's the beauty of coaching. That's how you are able to grow fast, much faster than doing it on your own. You could fail forward and obviously learn from your mistakes and all that kind of stuff. However, if you're able to learn from the pros, learn from the experts, those people have been there, done that, already had failures, already had mistakes done. If they tell you before you make that mistake, obviously you're going to save time, money, and frustrations all the time. So that's how you could get unstuck, and that's how you can move fast forward and gain more and more success, like without a doubt. So that's why Coachable is such a great resource for lots of people out there. There's so many different levels, so many different experts out there that could actually provide us with the services that we need. And the thing is, again, knowing your audience. If you didn't know your audience, how do you make sure that you're able to connect with them properly? And that is pure gold that Chris gave us and something that you should all think about. And just that simple tip and a lot more will come from coaching. So back to you, Linda.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness! If I was in the live room, I'll be like applauding, and all this applause were going on. Everybody, let me just share this with you. Our speeches are unplanned. You might think that we coordinated our talks. We haven't. I have no idea what Chris is going to talk about. I have no idea what Fong was going to talk about. I just get a title. Can you see how our community is? Our community is truly a supportive one that is uplifting each other. We have no fear about competition. We have no fear about jealousy, who does better. We so sincerely respect each other's work, and we just honor each other's work, and we endorse each other's work. I'm just so humbled to have you both in the room with me. Seriously, thank you so much, Fong. It's just amazing. And just so that everyone know, Fong had invested. Can I share, Fong? Is that okay to share? I feel like I need to share a bit of your
I
credit.
don't know what you're sharing, so go ahead.
I hope it's okay. I believe it's okay. Fong has invested more than 28 properties. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that all of us here, we don't just talk. We don't just give you the motivational quote. We don't get you up and dance and do whatever. We just simply, sincerely want to share with you what has worked for us. And I have known Fong for many years now, and every single word he said is so true that it was all from the coaching journey that has changed his entire life, right? He was an engineer. And so Fong really shared his journey so truthfully, reflecting what coaching is all about, right? From being a 9 to 5 professional to investing 28 properties and more and become podcaster and all of those. Seriously, Fong had so much more to share. And Chris, we already know the trusted advisor. I have so much behind the nuggets that he shared. So I just want to honor you both for your experience, because I feel like sometimes we don't share enough of who we are, just so that people understand a little bit more who we are, why we are doing what we do, because we're just passionate. We're just passionate about sharing our journey, because we kind of like, traveling along, and we know how hard it is to work on your own. And of course, for all the business owners who are listening to us, who signed up to today's event, and unfortunately, I don't know what happened that you can't be here live. For all of you who are listening, if you are way ahead of us, and if you like to share with us, come and join us. Come and join us and share with us. We would love to hear from you, because I always say to everyone, right, to my children, to everyone, to all the coaches, to all the speakers, no one person knows everything. None of us know everything, right? That's why I love community. Community is what allow us to connect with each other and share with each other and uplift each other. And so I just want to add a bit of my share. And I find that sometimes it's good to have a little bit of a screen share just for the different people. Some people like to see things as they as they listen. So I thought I'll just share my screen. Nothing fancy. I'm not going to bore you with PowerPoint presentation. Don't worry. But I just want to show a bit of visual as well for some people who might like visual. And I noticed that today we have a big title, Unlock Your Next Level and How to Move Forward Fast, right? So I just want to clarify that, what we share with you is not like the instant kind of fast, right? But it is exactly what has worked for us. And that's why we want to share with you. And most of us, like who is feeling plateau, right? Most of us want strategies because we feel plateau, right? And today, as you could already see, it's not a generic advice, right? But it's all about sharing our true experience and wisdom. It's not just about fluffy motivational quotes. We truly share with you our truth, what has worked for us, right? And I know the word move forward has this urgency. What can I do now? I want to be there fast, right? It's all about emotions. But in reality, we know that it's all about the real work, right? We all know, like Chris shared with you exactly how to do it, right? It's all about the real work, and it's all about the actionability. Then that's the key, right? If we didn't take action, none of us will be here where we are, right? So for me, my story is that I have achieved every single dream I have so far. And I had nothing when I was a child. I didn't even have color pencils. And so actionability is the key. And that's the one thing we need to remember, right? So, a lot of the time we all get stuck, like Fong mentioned before, is the analysis over, the paralysis over analysis, right? And sometimes it can disguise as a perfection. I experienced it, right? Let me get this right first, right? It's because we overthink it. I can see Daniel smiling. Yeah, we overthink it so much, right? Or sometimes it's because the outdated system. And that's why when we share with each other, amazing things happen, right? We can learn from each other because isolation is what kills all dreams in entrepreneurship, right? When we're in business on entrepreneur journey, isolation is what kills dreams. But when you're in a community of people who would listen to each other, who can share with you their journey, that's when the actionability comes back in, and that's when you can take action, and that's when you can move forward. Otherwise, it'll be like this. Let me think about it. Let me think about it. And we'll be forever thinking, right? And that's when we get stuck, right? So today, I'm going to invite everyone to embrace the minimum viable leap. Now, if you're in the startup world, you'll hear so many times, let's create the minimum viable product. So today, I'm going to invite you to drop that, but to actually embrace the minimum viable leap. Let's just leap forward by taking any point that you hear today, anything at all, even just one word that resonates with you, hone in on that, take advantage of that, leverage on that momentum and leap forward. That's how we move forward fast, right? And now we all know, right? We all know success is not about thinking and designing, right? It's really all about taking action, right? Taking action. It is that, the minute you take action, one step at a time, you climb up the ladder, one step at a time. Welcome, Andrew. I'm glad you can join us. It's the one step at a time, take that one step. And each time you take that one step, you start to see the clarity. Whereas often people say, oh, I'm so confused. I'm so stuck. I want to see the way forward before I take action. That's the usual conventional way that people think. But I'm going to invite you to just keep taking action anyway. One step at a time, you'll be able to unravel that tangle of thoughts, that tangle of whatever that holds you back. So if you just take one step, small action, one step. Now, even though we say fast, it is really the opposite of the fast, because the fast is the rush emotions, right? But if you just keep taking action, it's the compound effect, right? If you look into the compound effect, you'll be so amazed, right? If you just eat less 10 calorie a day, do 10 more steps a day, you see the compound effect in about 18 months, right? So let's not just rush the instant gratification, like, I want it now, right? It's all of those rush that we trip over. Oh, no, it's not working. So we try something else, and then it's not working. We keep trying. And then before we know it, we wasted the whole year, 2 years, right? Whereas if we keep taking consistent action, in about 18 months, I have literally witnessed, right, my families, right, lost so much weight by just consistently taking small action, eating a little bit less, more conscious eating, me included. I take one step at a time. Before I know it, another dream happen. I take another action, another dream happen, right? Just embrace the minimum viable leap, right? Just leap forward, even though you feel like what's in front of you is unclear, right? Just leap forward. Anyway, just keep taking action. Intentional action is what's going to help you to unravel all of those tangles in your head. And, we know like, success is a teamwork, whether you lean into us, our coaching community, or your team, right? Just trust everyone has the best interest in each other, and just keep taking action, sharing your goals so everyone can help you, right? Focus on one changing goal at a time, one game, one goal at a time, right? The feeling of stuck is really not a stop sign. It's your sign of growth spurt waiting, right? That's why you started thinking. That's why you started to, wanting to seek for answers. Hello, we have more friends joining us. I'm so sorry that we didn't get to see you from the beginning, but don't worry, we will try to send you the recording for you. It's been an amazing session, right? So what I'm trying to say is that your next level isn't in a distant journey at all. It's really right in front of you if you would just take action. Very simple. Take small action, one step a day, right? And that is how you embrace this minimum viable leap right in front of you. And we would encourage you, for our friends who just joined us now, we will send you the recording, listen from the beginning, and just take action from our talk today, right? Just take what action before lunch, before dinner today. You will see yourself moving forward to the clarity that you needed so that you can move forward faster. So clearly redefine your role today, what exactly that I'm trying to do or achieve, and be laser focused. And if we could just focus on that one goal, your action, your role, your responsibility, keep yourself accountable, that's how you can anchor that empowered feeling so that you can move fast to the next level. And like I said, in the end, if you feel like you need to talk to us, email us, coachable@gmail.com, or join our community. Just sign up, it's for free. And if you are a coach or a speaker, we would love for you to join us. And next time we would love to hear your idea as well. Like I said, no one knows everything. We don't expect ourselves to know everything. We're simply just here, passionate souls to just connect and share and love, uplift each other. And like I said, none of our talks are shared with each other beforehand. We have no idea what each of us talk about. I just share the topic with Fong and Chris, and amazingly, can you see how aligned our thoughts are, how aligned our speeches are to share with you today? I wouldn't even call it a speech, our talks, right? So basically, all we want to share is what truly has worked for us. Chris has been, in business for so long, all the way from New York, and he consults with all the multi-million dollar companies. Fong has invested in over 28 properties. I have a dip in property, make my gain more than 100 times, all because of the one step action at a time. And that leap forward, right? That you just keep taking action. And that's how I have achieved every single dream I have so far, including, being a wedding dress designer, travel the world, created 3 hats that changed lives, written the book that has helped many people become published authors and live their lives happier. So we're really here just to share our real journey. It's not about a motivational talk. We just want to share with you what worked for us and hoping that it also worked for you. But at the same time, we also want to invite you to join us to share your take, your secret sauce with us as well. And so, yeah, so if you have any questions at all, we're going to open now our space up for Q&A now for, a short 10 minutes or so. But if you have any questions that you want to ask personally, email it to us or join our community. So yeah, anybody have questions? Now, Daniel is our Three Hats ambassador, and Daniel will ask questions on behalf of our community or anybody. Perhaps I would like to invite Andrew. Andrew, I know you joined halfway, but do you have any thoughts or any question from even just the title of the topic? If you need more time to think, just say okay, and then maybe Daniel can talk first while Andrew is getting ready.
Oh,
Since Daniel have the mic and open, so Daniel,
thank
you go
you.
ahead first. Any question, Daniel?
Yeah, I got so interested in how do you see the blind spot? What is the most common blind spot among entrepreneur and business owners today?
Chris, would you like to go
And
first?
Sure. Yeah. So Andrew, thank you. It's a great question, and something that we all have blind spots. Even some of the, some of the people, some of our mentors that we admire, like the Richard Bransons of the world. That we all have blind spots. Oftentimes, I know you had joined after I had talked earlier, but oftentimes, what is a blind spot is the business owner. Even if you had employees, we just assume we know what our audience is looking for. This is why a lot of times as solopreneurs, somebody will just put together an online course and a program. They'll spend a lot of money and time putting it together because they just say in their head, I know people are gonna love this. And I know that this is gonna benefit them. It benefited me. I know it's gonna benefit them. But what they just assume that. They didn't actually hear it from their audience. They didn't go out and survey them. They didn't do an audience segmentation analysis. They didn't look at it at a macro level for market research. You don't have to spend a lot of money or a significant amount of resources. A lot of this you could get for free. You just have to spend time getting it. But if we have to substantiate what is the real challenge that our audience has that can be better, what is the results they're seeking and don't have. Now everyone's going to have different challenges and different results they're looking for, but as a whole, what is that? That's where that if business owner now understands that, they can now redirect their message on their upper fold of their website, their marketing collateral, their social media profiles, when they're networking, all the touch points where their audience is engaging with this information, that subconsciously it's going to now register what is the challenge that could be better, what are the results they seek to have. You're educating them, and as you drip that, it's going to reduce the number of touch points for them to say yes, from on average of 20 to 100 to now 5 to 12. That is a blind spot that is very common, not only for a solopreneur, especially, but even people that are running businesses doing anywhere as little as $1 million to even 100 million. They're missing that a lot of times. They don't understand. That's why their SEO and their lead gen has nothing to do with that they're not performing right. But they're just working with the message that they have, and the message isn't aligned to that. That is one of the biggest blind spots, and it happens to be when that is perfected or enhanced, it will help to be the foundation from all the other revenue and profit acceleration drivers that can help accelerate your business to the next level.
That's wonderful. Fong, did you have anything to add about the blind spots?
Well, I think I've touched on it a little bit during my talk there. The blind spots are something that other people are going to be able to see, especially people that you would like to either emulate, or people who have already been there and done that as to what you want to do. If you start reaching out to those individuals, they should be able to find the blind spots that you are unaware of, especially if they've already been through it. The reason being is they've probably had the same blind spots. And in retrospect, now they're able to pass on those learnings to individuals like yourself and other people who are following in on the same journey. So reaching out to other people and asking those questions as to what are your problems, and then how do you overcome them.
That's wonderful. Thank you for adding that. And for me, I also like to share that, Daniel, often we have the blind spot because we're too much in our own thought, just like this picture, right? It's like, oh, I've got this product, oh, I've got this service, and I'm going to just work on it. And we sometimes forget to think about our end users, our customers. What exactly do they want as opposed to what we want to offer, right? And so that's how the blind spots happen, I think. Does that answer the question, Daniel?
Yes, but I of course also become very curious about the toolbox a little bit. And today, one of the tools in the toolbox that everybody talks about and that has become very trendy, it's AI in different
That's right.
versions. And how should we deal with this new fantastic feature, AI? What are your recommendations?
So for me, I have
Yeah.
found that AI has been wonderful in terms of brainstorming, in terms of cut short your process of the nitty gritty task. But then, if you truthfully use it for its what it's designed to do, meaning it cuts short the process, but then to use it more effectively, you have to do your part as well. And that's how we stay individualized, right? Otherwise, if you put the same question in ChatGPT, for example, and I put the same question, we're all going to get the same answer. But that doesn't serve us because we each have our own journey. We each are at a different stage of our life, and we each have different kind of business.
Yeah.
So then, therefore, I would use that as my brainstorming tool, and then I will refine it. Say for example, I'm an author, right? Sometimes you hear about author talk about they get stuck with what to write, right? So then you can use ChatGPT as a brainstorming, right? And then I would still go on and write my own piece. I would not just copy and paste. That's how I would do it. How about you and
Yeah.
Chris and Fong?
Yeah, I would say that, with ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity, it's all in how, like what Linda said, you have to learn how to prompt it. And here's the good news. There's Even though there's people out there that have been involved in AI technology for quite some time, there really isn't anybody that would be considered a true expert, right? Because there's only been so many people using it for 3 years. But there are people that have been using it since 2022 when it kind of first came out, 2023, that time period, where they've gotten really good at mastering how to prompt it correctly. And as AI continues to evolve and get more intelligent, where it starts to understand who you are and what makes you tick, how you speak, if we prompt it correctly and taking out the typical AI jargon out of it, as Linda said, you don't want to cut and paste verbatim, but you can now use it as a way to structure your proposals, your presentations, your analysis, because it can do it in a fraction of the time, but it's all based upon how we prompt it and feed it with that information. Because if we feed it with just general information, it's what it's going to give, just general information, like what it would give to Linda would it give to me, and that's not going to be helpful. Or Fung, the same thing, and to Daniel. But if we prompt it and feed it with specific information and take time in learning how to do that, and there are people who can help you do that, that is what's going to now give you the output looks like it came from you, and it's going to align and be more custom and tailored to what you want it to do for clients or whatever that may be.
And you, Fong, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, very similar. It has to do with how you prompt it. I would also utilize AI as a tool that speed things up. So, for instance, there's lots of AI tools out there, and a lot of them are free, in which you can put in recordings of your videos and your podcasts and all that kind of stuff, and it could instantly generate clips of your episode without you having going in and doing your own edits and all kinds of stuff. It would just generate clips that you could utilize as 1 minute clips for your TikToks or your social media, Instagram, and all that kind of stuff. So that speeds up a lot of the time. I know some of my clients are actually using AI to write their books faster. So, for instance, they would write an outline of the stuff that they want in their books. They would also input some of their own experiences in there, and then have ChatGPT or AI formulate the paragraphs and how it looks. And then they would actually take a portion of that and go, hey, I wanted to read like a grade 5 level. Hey, I want to read it like a grade 7 level, and it could do that as well. So it's one of those tools that makes things it saves you time, but you also have to be able to prompt it properly so that it does save you time and not cause more issues for you, because now you have to read everything and fix everything up because that's not exactly what you wanted. So you have to prompt it properly.
I think for me, what I understand it to be, Daniel, it's all about extending our learning ability and skills. So if we think back to before 2000, when email comes out, everybody go, oh my God, it's email, maybe the post office is no longer going to be in business. Well, it's not true. Post office is still, we call it post office here. I don't know what you guys call it overseas. People still write cards, people still post things, but with the email, how we communicate so much better, right? Now, before Facebook come along, go, oh, I don't know what Facebook is, or LinkedIn, whatever, right? But once we use it, we really extend our skills and our ability. So that's how I see it. And let me share this with you. You might find this comforting to know that it actually does add value when you know to use it properly. I know someone who can develop AI agents. He created 100 agents, and in a matter of 18 months, he had generated, be ready for this, $6 million. But that is super high level though, right? That's because he's a developer. He knows exactly what he builds. And so it does add value to us if and when we know how to use it. And that is just a super case. That is just a super case, right? And he even show us how he does it, of course, briefly. 100 AI agents generated $6 million in 18 months. So I think it's the same because we as human beings, we're ever evolutioning, right? We evolve on this evolution journey. We keep evolving. As we evolve, when we master our skills, we'll be at the next level. I think if we, just like anything in life, if you're afraid of it, you will be left behind. But if you confront it and say, okay, I'm going to take this leap, remember that leap that we talk about, we're going to take that leap and take the action in learning and immerse yourself in it, you will find yourself move forward together with society, with the evolution, and not left behind. And that's when you can find the real learning to use the tool properly. I believe that all the tools are designed supposed to support us, but it's how you use it that supports you in whichever way, good or bad, right? People can use it in a negative way, but this person has used it amazingly to serve so many people and generated 6 million in 18 months. It's just incredible, right? So any more questions, Daniel, on behalf of the community?
Yes,
Oh, more
actually, I think
questions.
it was a bit. One more question. It was a little
Okay,
bit to
one more
Fung,
last one.
actually. It was about investing in real property and yes, in properties, and that is what to think about, and also what should you consider. Why should you consider to use a coach in investing in real properties? What
That is
can
such a
you
great
recommend?
question.
Well, I think that when you have a coach to bounce ideas off of, to bounce certain deals off of, to make sure that okay, you run your numbers correctly, you've negotiated correctly, and all that kind of stuff, that goes a long way as to becoming successful and also having that peace of mind with regards to properties. I've also utilized my coach to help me deal with evictions. I've never There was a period of time where I've never dealt with an eviction before. I didn't know how to deal with the court process and all that kind of stuff. And having that coach with me along the way gave me a peace of mind as to what to expect, how to formulate my argument, what am I going to be expecting from the potential tenant and all that kind of stuff. So really, just having that soundboard is very, very important when you have that coach with you. And when it comes to real estate, what should you consider? What should you think about? Bottom line is buying the property with value, buying it below market value. If you're able to buy it below market value, then you won't lose, right? Because you could instantly sell it for higher if that's what you choose. If you don't want to hold it anymore, but you could always have more opportunities and options for you if you are able to buy it below market value.
That's so awesome. Thank you, Daniel, for all the questions on behalf of the community and everyone else. We hope that we connect with you even after this live event. Just email us and connect with us. Once again, it's coachable, COACHJ with a J, very special, ABLE, coachable@gmail.com. And join us at Coachable. We would love to have you join us again next time. Bye for now, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye for now. Thank you.
Bye. Good seeing
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.